What's going on, guys? I am Toxic Jordan. Welcome back to the channel. So today we are going to be taking on the versus INT stage of the Breakthrough the Super Armor event here. So excitingly enough, I think we have finally found an event where Raditz is going to prove useful. So that is very, very exciting here. He is probably the best possible unit that you could use to clear this event with the physical type team, because while there are quite a few different units that do have physical type that are on the physical typing that have like AoE attacks and things like that, a lot of them have other kind of constraints in their kit that make them a little bit funky for this event specifically. So if you notice here, I'm actually not even using Raditz as my leader. I've got the Blue Vegeta, the nuke type, the nuking leader here, and then I just have a bunch of orb changers on the team as well. So basically the idea here is just to change as many orbs as we can to physical, and then have Raditz just constantly nuke every turn in order to get us through. And then on that final phase, we'll also have a Bulma active, a Bulma item, and the Dabura cookie active as well, to give us a bunch of extra damage, and then we should be sitting pretty for there. So that is the basic strategy that we've got behind it. So we'll go ahead and hop in here. It looks like our rotations started out pretty well, pretty good as well here. By the way, I did want to mention, this is a voiced over recording of this, so we did end up getting the win on this run, and this is us taking a look back at it. So we also use the Goku family's support memory there, so we're getting an extra little buff for both of our Raditz cards here. So starting out at the very beginning, it looks like basically we're just going to try and get as many physical orbs with Raditz as possible. Raditz does have a piece to his passive skill where if he receives an attack before attacking, then he will get guaranteed critical hits for the turn, which is really big with him being an AoE unit, and it works out especially well in this event. But unfortunately, since no one was attacking us in the first slot there, it made more sense to put the Goku in the first slot so that we could select more physical orbs in the second slot with Raditz, just setting up the orb field a little better for ourselves. And then as you can see here, okay, so Raditz is only rocking like a 2 million attack stat. We selected 9 physical orbs on this turn, and obviously the amount of orbs that we get is going to affect his attack stat because of that nuke type leader skill that we've got that we are running. So the more physical orbs the better. That is definitely the play here. He's definitely not struggling to take down these enemies in one hit, but they also are going to get a lot stronger as we go throughout this event. And I think on the third or fourth phase we're actually going to see an example of where his power is kind of limited without exploiting items. So so while it was lucky that we got the Raditzes out right away, I was still trying to decide how I wanted to keep my rotation set up, of like who it made sense to keep on rotation with Raditz. And I believe that this blue Goku actually linked up with Raditz better than the Kefla did. So it just made sense to me to keep the Kefla, or to rotate off Kefla and keep the blue Goku around. So Weirus is like our best orb changer on the team for sure. Unfortunately, he doesn't share any links with Raditz, so they literally don't link up at all. But the fact that he's changing tech and int type orbs for us is such a big deal. Because as you can see there, he's able to change a majority of the field into physical orbs, and then we're able to actually put out a lot of damage with Raditz this way. So we activate our Bulma now. We didn't really need it for those first 2 turns. I mean, it doesn't really make a difference whether I activate it or not. With some of the other runs that I was doing, you actually wanted to not activate a Bulma because we had so many characters that needed to build up. Mainly on like the int type team one that we were doing. there were a lot of units that were raising their attack throughout the event, so we wanted them to get as many super attacks as possible, which means we wanted each turn, each like round to take as long as possible, so that we had the most amount of rotations to keep getting all those stat raises. So we definitely didn't want to use attack raising items early on in the event. In this one, it doesn't really matter as much because there's no stacking going on. Raditz only gets one turn, attack raises and stuff anyway. So there we see that is a perfect example. The enemies were like 99. They all survived with just a little bit of HP, which was kind of not really a problem yet, but obviously we can see how that'd be a problem a little bit later in the event. But that does end up working in our favor, actually, because the friend Raditz is only... both Raditzes are 55%, but the friend Raditz is not link level 10. He's got very, very low links. It's pretty hard to find a Raditz on the friends list in general, but the one that I have here, it was just the only one around that was even available. It was actually a solid... over a week before I was even able to attempt this stage with a Raditz team because there were no Raditz friends. So we finally found one, and this was like a one-stop shop here. But yeah, it did end up working out that we didn't finish off this phase in one turn, because now here on the 4th phase, we can make sure, because our Raditz is link level 10 and has better equips. I think the friend Raditz didn't have any equips. So we want to make sure that our Raditz is the one that is on rotation on that 5th and final phase, because he'll be putting out more damage for sure. And he's also the one that is paired up with Weirus, who is going to be changing more of the orb field, just giving us a bigger opportunity to select more physical orbs. So that is definitely the way we want to have it set up for the final turn. So basically, what I did here was I just took a few physical orbs so that this Raditz wouldn't kill the enemies, but, would just do some damage. And then on the next rotation, we can try and finish off this 4th phase, and then we will get the Weirus and our Raditz back on the 5th and final phase, and then we can just do a big nuke and be done with it. So now I think I did blunder just a little bit because I was a little overzealous in trying not to kill them. I barely even took out half of their health because I only got 4 physical orbs. So that ended up being pretty bad. I probably should have put the Raditz 2nd slot and then selected some of those other orbs first and gotten like a bigger chunk of physical orbs. I think that would have been a wiser decision. But it did end up working out in the end for us, so not the biggest deal, right? And Kefla did get a few physical orbs as well, so she is putting out some damage for us, which is nice, I guess. Okay, so the reason that it ended up being a problem here is because we changed, like, no orbs to physical. We got a really bad luck on our orb generation, and also there's no attacks in the first slot. So this Raditz is not going to be doing guaranteed crits for the turn either. So now we're in a bit of a dicey scenario where we could potentially not finish off this phase. We could lose right here. So at this point, I still have a Bulma active, so we're good there. But I am considering using one of my Dabura cookies. Now, the extra 5% per physical orb obtained that you get from that item does not stack. However, if you use both of them in one turn, you're still only going to be getting a 5% bonus per orb, not 10%. However, it will orb change twice for you if you use both of them in the same turn. So I wanted to be able to save both of them for the final phase so that I could get the most possible orb changing and make sure that basically the entire field was physical. But I just wasn't going to have that luxury here. So I did have to use one of the Daburas, but now we are guaranteed with, what is that, 19 physical orbs? We are guaranteed to finish off this phase, no problem. And then we should be, set up just fine for that final phase as well. So yeah, here we're rocking a 6 million attack stat. Very, very good. Comparative to like the 2 million attack stats we've been getting throughout the event so far. Yeah, definitely not bad. 11 million damage without critical hits. So that is pretty good. Okay, so then here we already have quite a few orbs changed to physical typing. And then we might as well keep the Vegeta linked up because he does share a link or two with Raditz. Bulma is, again, still active there, so we'll use that final Dabura cookie here. And we get the red orbs to change, so now we're able to select 17 physical orbs, and we're going to be getting guaranteed crits because of those attacks in the first slot. So this is hands down going to win it for us. So yeah, we will see Raditz do that beautiful super attack and finish off the enemy here. So yeah, we're upwards of 6 million again. Very, very nice. And now this time we're going to have guaranteed critical hits too. So there we go. We're just doing a casual 15 million damage to each of these guys. I think those are the highest attack stats that I put out throughout this entire event in all 5 stages. So Raditz was looking very, very impressive there. Very funny that we finally have a place to use Raditz. So if you did end up summoning for him, there you go. He's not totally useless. There's finally a meta-relevant place to use Raditz. So there we go. That was our final stage completed. We were able to get the last of the missions done there, and we are finished with this Super Armor event. So I hope that you guys found this helpful. And if you have Raditz, then go ahead and give this this strategy a shot. I wish you luck with it. And I also wish you luck finding a Raditz friend on your friends list. Very, very tough. Really quick here, at the end I did look in my box just to go over a few units that you do have as a possibility to use besides Raditz that do work, but they kind of don't as well. So the physical LR Cell here does have an AoE, but it's on his 12 key super, which is a problem because you can't use a nuke. Because if you select too many orbs, then he's going to get the 18 key super, and it's not a an AoE attack, right? So that is a bit of a problem with the Cell. That's why you kind of can't use him for this. And then the Dragon Ball Super Broly, he is another physical AoE unit, but the problem is he has a transformation, and his transformation procs on turn 4, and then beyond turn 4, he's not getting an AoE attack anymore. He just has a single target super attack from there on, so once you get to that 5th and final phase, it's going to be too late for him to do anything for you, and he's going to be useless. So yeah, that is another option that you have. I think in a second here, I actually was smart enough to go and filter the box, because here I was just looking through to see which different AoE units we had. But yeah, I think in a second I do go ahead and filter the box to look at all of the AoE type units on the physical typing here. And there we go. So select effect and all target super attack. And then we can see all of the units that have that. So the LR Krillin is another one who has the same problem as Cell, where his AoE is on the 12 key super, so you can't use a nuke, or he's going to do his 18 key super. And then Chowman is actually a decent option as well. He would be a decent option, but if you're running Chowman as your friend lead, then his leader skill is going to be a lot lower than what the Raditz would be providing. It's literally half, because Raditz is providing 200% to himself, and Chowman would only be providing 100%. So, yeah. And then obviously the second form Frieza and the Xeno Trunks are both garbage tier cards that are not not powerful enough to take down this event. So yeah, it really is like down up to Raditz pretty much. He is like absolutely your best bet. And you could see there, based on my video, even at 55%, he is going to have the power that it takes to get through this event. You know, there are a few other strong physical type attackers that you could, I suppose, use to defeat this event with. You could use like the physical Vegito Blue here, because if your RNG is good with him, he does a lot of additional super attacks. He could potentially do some good work for you. You've got the Anniversary LR Super Saiyan 4s. They are a very strong unit that does a lot of super attacks and put out a ton of damage. So units like that could potentially bring down this event if you didn't want to use an AoE strategy for it. But yeah, with the AoE strat, I think Raditz is really just your best bet. So there we go. That is going to do it for this one. If you guys enjoyed what you saw here, then consider being a part of the Toxic Tribe with the like, comment, and subscribe on the video. We are trying to get to 100 subscribers now, so smack that red subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it. It would help me out so much. That is going to do it for this one, and I will catch you guys next time. Peace.